Hello and welcome to Ticket Manager's All Access Interview Series, engaging leaders from across the sports marketing spectrum to identify and explore critical issues in the business of sports, entertainment, sponsorship, activation, ticketing, hospitality, and even more. I'm your host, Jim Andrews. Joining me on this episode to discuss jersey patches, international partnerships, the impact of sports betting, and unique business structures is Jim Van Stone, President of Business Operations and Chief Commercial Officer for Monumental Sports and Entertainment. Of course, they're the owner of the Washington Wizards, Washington Capitals, Washington Mystics, esports teams, streaming operations. You got a lot going on there in our nation's capital, Jim. It's great to see you and welcome to the podcast.
Well, Jim, thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to spend some time with you. And I will say, as we get started, I love Tony and everything that they do at Ticket Manager. So we've been a partner of theirs for a long, long time. And I think what they do for the industry is absolutely outstanding. So thank you for having me, and it'll be great to spend some time together.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know the feeling is mutual from everybody at Ticket Manager. So
Awesome.
I want to dive right in. It was reported a few weeks ago now, I think, that you at Monumental are considering a bundled offer for jersey patches across the Wizards and the G League and the Mystics and the esports. And I think that's really intriguing. There's a lot of news and conversation around patches these days. If that's accurate, can you tell us a little bit about how you got to that strategy?
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We love everything about the NBA portfolio. I mean, I think Commissioner Silver and the entire team at the NBA is really very strategic thinkers. And I think how they've grown the leagues over the period of time, it's just been absolutely outstanding. And when we were going to, look at this opportunity, and the NBA was certainly, setting the tone, I think, for these opportunities, here in the U.S., we really had a big eye to, what is unique about Washington, D.C. It's a very international and global marketplace. We have 190 embassies. We've got, 1 out of 5 people are foreign born. We think the NBA is truly a global game when you look at the amount of followers around the world. And we thought we had a really unique opportunity to look at this as a really big opportunity internationally. I mean, we've been fortunate over the years. We've got some outstanding players that are from faraway places, Rui Hachimura with Japan and Deni Avdija from Israel. It's really opened up a unique opportunity for us. And, when we were looking at it, and all the assets combined, I mean, and we really believe, as everyone knows, there's 4 leagues that are affiliated with the NBA, the WNBA, the NBA 2K League, and the G League. And, we think it's an enormous opportunity. We think that combined together really creates a unique offering for the right brand and the right partner. I mean, you certainly have the global nature of the NBA. You've got, the support of women's sports and athletics, which is critical, I think, for us. And we think it's a growing, opportunity. I think yesterday there was news that Michelob Ultra was going to invest $100 million into the growth of women's sports. So we think the WNBA is an important, part of the overall portfolio. The G League is one that's going to be enormously growing. The amount of kids and people that are playing basketball and the amount of talent that's out there, really from a developmental standpoint, the G League is an incredible platform. And, I think the league always looks at this as probably very similar to what you see with international soccer organizations and academies. I mean, growing your talent and growing your, connectivity, is really, really important. And then certainly the world of esports. I mean, I give credit to Brendan Donahue, who really is the managing director of the NBA 2K League. I mean, we've got one of the best participation sports in basketball, and now we're taking it to, this new phenomenon of esports. And the NBA 2K League is something that's global. And, Brendan had great vision, along with many people at the NBA, of, having a team that's based in China with Gen G. So we think this, collaboration of all these 4 teams is just enormous, and packaging these together really gives the right partner for us, an opportunity to hit a huge audience in a lot of different demographic and, contact areas. And we think it really, as a package, is really something that's enormous and unique. And for us, when you look at it, it's not a seasonal platform. This is a year-round platform. So I think we've got, a variety of different messages to multiple audiences that makes it really, really unique.
Yeah, I think it's very intriguing. And as you said, takes the seasonality out of it, just really becomes a bigger platform for a partner. Now, of course, even more recently than that, the news came out that the NHL is going to open their jerseys up for patches beginning a year from now. So it's very early days. I'm assuming at least for now that's going to be a separate offering when we're talking about the Capitals jersey.
Yeah, you know what? I think at least our strategy right now is certainly it's a standalone offer from that end. I mean, certainly as you have conversations with brands, I mean, if someone expressed an interest to, take a look at it and have a conversation, I mean, we certainly are always solutions based with what we do from working with our partners from that standpoint. But, I give credit. I mean, the last 18 months for all of us with, really the challenges that we've had in our live events business. The NHL has been absolutely tremendous. And Commissioner Bettman, Bill Daly, Keith Wachtel, Susan Kohig, Brian Jennings, they really have created a lot of opportunities and platforms for teams to really, help maintain and grow their revenues, even without our live events business. So, I mean, I think, whether it was the Ice virtual signage, whether it was the NHL helmets, now moving forward to in 2022, 23, the jersey, it really is a fantastic opportunity. And, for us here in Washington, I mean, we've had a tremendous amount of success with the Capitals. I mean, 2018 Stanley Cup champions. I think we're the winningest team in the 2010s. I mean, we've got a global following. We've got, marquee athletes and players with Alexander Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom and John Carlson, and Ovi is, he's going to be, over the next 5 years, going after Wayne Gretzky's scoring title. So, we think the jersey opportunity is a really unique platform from that standpoint. And, I think very similar to the NBA side, we look at this as a global opportunity. And, what brand would not want all these iconic moments in sports, which everyone is so passionate about, globally? I mean, to see your brand represented on these, incredible teams and athletes that, reach these, milestones, I think it's just, something that lasts forever. So we think the jersey opportunities, both on the NBA portfolio side and the NHL, are really unique crown jewel types of opportunities for brands and partners.
Absolutely. And I'm very intrigued by to see what will happen with the NHL allowing teams, if they want to split the home and away jerseys, because I think that will, for some teams, that will obviously be a real benefit to be able to take advantage of that. Perhaps, for a team like the Capitals, you may not need to go in that direction, as you say, with the international exposure. So, but it allows, all the different franchises to really do what's best for them.
It really does. I think that's something that, as we, found out more about the rules and regulations, starting with the helmets and now the jerseys, I think the league providing that flexibility, is a really, really unique opportunity. I mean, certainly we all work with brands that are hyper-focused in their geographical region and, really put a lot of their money, more on a regional basis. But then you have brands with us playing all over, North America, both in the US and Canada, that away audience might be really more impactful for them. And, I think just having flexibility is fantastic. And, I know probably, all 32 teams in the league are, with this news, really, figuring out their strategy, and then also, starting to have great conversations with some potential partners, who'd want to take, advantage of this historic opportunity.
From the sales side, we have a lot of viewers and listeners who are, in sponsorship sales and partnership sales, as well as ticketing. Are there, differences in how you go about kind of prospecting and signing those non-US partners in terms of kind of the personnel you put behind that, or just the kind of the operations of bringing those partners on board?
Both the NBA and NHL are really global brands and have global audiences from that standpoint. So I do think, that certainly gives us, a competitive advantage over maybe some other sports that could be out there that are more domestic focused from that standpoint. I think DC as a whole, a very international city that we talked about, previously. And I think that really affords us a really unique opportunity. And I think the other piece that we have, is really our players and rosters have become very global, with the teams that we have on the Capitals and Wizards. So we've really tried to, see if there's a connection there that we can help build. And I think one of the things, Jim, that we've done really well in knowing this, the explosion of social and digital inventory, and really the connectivity that has on a global level, we think is a really, really unique opportunity. So one of the things that we're really proud of, in our efforts in, creating some global opportunities on the NBA side is that now we're doing content in 5 different languages. So we do content in Chinese, that we promote and put out there on Weibo. We do Japanese language content, Twitter, original content. We do a Japanese language podcast. We do content in Hebrew focused on Israel. This year, we're going to start Portuguese content. We have Raul Neto, who's one of our players from Brazil. So I think the ability to do multiple languages for us has allowed us to build better connectivity with brands and fans in some of those local marketplaces. And I think, with having the ability to distribute that on, really great social media platforms, we think that builds a huge impression opportunity for brands and hopefully allows us to build a much deeper connection. But I think the last 18 months, when you take a look at us, all of us are digital first organizations, and content is really a big part of that process. And I think more than ever, teams and properties, we look at ourselves as media businesses. So being able to create that content, distribute it, and hopefully deliver on a partner's objectives, I think really becomes much bigger when you're trying new things like international language, for example.
In particular, one of those overseas partners is Alibaba, and I know they have developed what they call their fan insights platform, and that really looks interesting. So it built that to help you optimize your fan communications, promotions. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about how that works and what it's delivering for your business and maybe for some of your other partners as well.
We've loved our partnership. We're in year 3 of our partnership with Alibaba. And, one of the things that we collaborated on from the very, very beginning is, I think certainly with them being a very global brand, we wanted really to build that connectivity from a global perspective. But when we were really talking about a lot of opportunities, they are at the core of everything they do, a really strong technology company. And that's really, and what they do on the e-commerce side, I think is absolutely second to none. So it was interesting when we formulated our partnership. One of the things that we wanted to do, and DC as a whole has a lot of international visitors on an annual basis. So we integrated into Capital One Arena Alipay. So we actually were the first US arena to accept Alipay. We did it in ticketing, we did it in food and beverage. We also did it on the retail side of our business. And then as we were having conversations with them, we have all these incredible data points. We work with a lot of partners out there, and, we've got a data warehouse. So every interaction that one of our clients has, we actually capture that data. And as we were having conversations with, the Alibaba Group and Alibaba Cloud, one of the things that we wanted them to do was really to build out this segmentation opportunity that would allow us to better communicate to our customers, to make sure that when we're communicating to them, we're delivering, a message that really is 100% focused on what their interests are. And that was what, Alibaba and the fan segmentation program allowed us to do. And what we've seen, in the first year is, higher conversion rates on customers. We saw, potentially higher revenues that we're able to generate, more tickets that we were able to sell. And it also helped us on the food and beverage side. So, we're still in year 2 of it, and we're going to do some enhancements that we started, this past summer. But, we think from a business intelligence standpoint, it's really a game changer, for us in terms of the way we're communicating to our partners and customers.
I'd imagine that it's really because it's personalized, almost kind of one-to-one marketing, right? So you're giving them the right message at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I mean, if Jim Andrews has seen a great game, he's a big Capitals fan at Capital One Arena, and we know that Jim is a huge consumer, loves to get his Michelob Ultra when he comes into a game and stuff like that. Every time we communicate to Jim and he's coming in here, we want to make sure that it's convenient for him. And I want him to know where the best place is, and the closest place to his seats to grab that Michelob Ultra. So, being able to do those type of things, to me is really customer friendly, and, really that one-on-one communication that we want to have, is so much more personable. And that's where the segmentation program, I think, really, really helps us very well.
And is there an opportunity for some of your other partners to take advantage of that data and the information that you're getting through that program so that they could use it for their own activation efforts?
Those are some things that we're talking about with some partners. I see it as an opportunity for us to continue to evolve. We do a lot of surveying for our partners, both preseason and postseason. And our business intelligence team, we have a 20-person BI team that really works with us for those folks who are dedicated to our partners on that front. And I think as we continue to evolve, that's probably going to be important for us. And we want to make sure that, at all points in time, like everyone else in our business, that, we're always returning on investment on our partners' objectives. So I think having some of those resources, really goes a long way. And I think as we move forward, we will have conversations at a much deeper level with some partners that are interested, in getting more data opportunities from the fan segmentation program.
I would imagine, yeah, and I'm impressed by that 20-person number on the BI side. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to shift, talk a little bit about another one of your partners, William Hill, your sports betting partner. At the time, you opened the first sports book within a U.S. pro sports venue, and others are following on that lead since then. So obviously, there's some direct benefits for you and the teams, and increasing fan engagement and visits to Capital One Arena. Do you think also are there ways to leverage the sports book and betting in general to benefit, again, those other partners that you have?
I think so. One of the things that we thought was important, and Caesars now acquiring William Hill, I think when you look at them, I mean, they are certainly, when it comes to a resorts and entertainment, business, I mean, they are the most ideal ecosystem that you could have. I mean, and we're really excited about the transition from William Hill to the Caesars Sportsbook. For us being first to market, there was many things. I mean, certainly the fan engagement side of it, the data side, we thought was really important. And we thought that was what fans were looking for. The interesting thing is, we said this, many times, is we have these beautiful buildings. I mean, we are state-of-the-art buildings, 20,000 people. We're probably the largest venues in our marketplaces from a live entertainment standpoint. But our buildings are interesting. We open them up an hour before a game begins. We close them right afterwards. And, having a fully operational 365-day-a-year sports book, I think really creates a unique destination opportunity beyond just the events that we have in the building. I mean, we do 230 events a year here at Capital One Arena, but, there are so many opportunities for fans to engage on content and sports. And I think having this bricks and mortar and retail location provides a great opportunity for us. And, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we do as we open this was also, create other platforms for, us, and at the time, William Hill and now Caesars, to grow together. And, one of the premier destinations within the sportsbook is a broadcast studio. And we're doing a live original content. We're doing a 2-hour daily sports show that's happening live at the Caesars Sportsbook, and, creating new platforms for us to communicate, with people that are interested in, sports betting, but also for an opportunity for us to educate, people on what sports betting provides, from a fan experience standpoint. The other piece is we've got this incredible, F&B experience, with a really well-known celebrity chef in the marketplace named Nick Stefanelli, who's a James Beard award-winning chef. And, we think the culinary piece was really critical and important to that. So, we think this is going to be a game changer. When we were doing some forecasts with having the bricks and mortar sportsbook, we estimated that it would drive almost 1 million more visits a year to Capital One Arena. I think that 1 million more creates a great opportunity for us for more exposure for our partners that we have, possibly better integration in terms of what the overall experience is at the building. I think certainly, as we come back strong in live events post-COVID, I think it's a great opportunity for us to have ancillary, entertainment experiences to drive people to hopefully even buy more tickets to the events that we have. So, from that standpoint, I think, sports betting was like the perfect addition, I think for us from a venue operator standpoint. And I'm excited about seeing, where us as first movers, where this really duplicates in many other areas around the country. I can't wait to go to Chicago and see what they're doing at Wrigley Field. I think that's an incredible opportunity. I think what's happening, at the Arizona Diamondbacks with Caesars and what they're going to be building out there is absolutely tremendous. So I think this is, really a unique opportunity, but I think it's one that really complements each other from our core business of what we do. And also, I think the sports betting industry, I think it's a really great symbiotic complement to our businesses, and we both can help each other in big, big ways.
Clearly. And, you mentioned that million people coming in, and, that's so important because, one of the challenges in being in the sports business is kind of, there's a finite number of tickets you can sell, right? And God bless you if you can sell out every event. That's still what, how do you grow? And unless you're building a new building and adding more seats, we've got to look at other opportunities, and this is such a natural one.
Well, and it's funny, the sports book, all in, I think in the fan area, it's about 18,000 square feet. I think overall it's about 30,000 square feet. I mean, capacity wise in there is probably right under 1,000. But this thing is probably the most connected facility space I think I've ever seen. There's over 100 large scale TVs and screens in the place. The connectivity is state of the art from that standpoint. I mean, our building as a whole is 5G enabled with a great partnership that we have with Verizon. So I think you're 100% right, Jim. I mean, if we're sold out in the building at a 18,500 seat Caps game, hopefully we get another 750 to 1,000 people in the sports book really participating and engaging in that event experience. But I think for us, the other piece is that it's really, how can this help us drive even more programming into the main arena on dark days. So we're looking at doing, in partnership with Caesars, pay-per-view events. If there's a great pay-per-view event in Las Vegas at a Caesars property, maybe we can do a live event on a dark day for us and do the pay-per-view event on the brand new Jumbotron scoreboard that we have in the building and flex in to the arena from the sports book. So I think, the creativity is endless on some opportunities that can be established.
Yeah, it'll be great to see what develops there. I want to talk about Monumental itself as an organization because, there's so many different structures that we see among ownership in professional sports. And I think Monumental's is among the most unique, especially with streaming and broadcast operations, the esports, we've talked about all of that. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, what's the biggest impact on the teams in terms of being part of that kind of larger ecosystem? There have been any kind of unexpected benefits or lessons that have come out of that might be interesting for other people to hear? Well,
you know what? I think, at least in my career, I've been very fortunate. I think the ownership group that I work for, and Ted being our founder and chairman, we are fortunate. We have the most innovative ownership group, I think, out there in sports, and, always want to be first movers to many, many things. I mean, we truly at the core look at ourselves as an integrated media company. We want to be the fastest growing regional sports property in the country. I think it's really unique that we own all these teams. We manage multiple buildings, and then really over the last several years, and I give, Ted a ton of credit, along with Zach Leonsis. I mean, we have really looked at ourselves as a media company first and foremost. And, the teams become great content, the venues become great content opportunities, but, we're the first, organization to establish a regional OTT sports network in our Monumental Sports Network. We broadcast 500 live sporting events a year, which is absolutely tremendous for us. Really focused on, some emerging areas. I think certainly youth sports is a big part of that. We think there's an opportunity in the high school space and college space that doesn't get the coverage. We've also used it as a great opportunity for us to broadcast our G League team and our WNBA teams with, really full broadcasting capabilities. We developed an out-of-home business, so we're probably the largest, owner of out-of-home in the district. And our out-of-home business is really significant. We have 19 units of signage around the building. We have basically a 50-person productions team that creates the content, and works with us. And we were very fortunate over the years. There was a lot of outstanding talent, in the DC marketplace with National Geographic and Discovery that, as those businesses moved out, we really recruited some great people from that standpoint. So we look at ourselves as, innovators and first to market. And we really look at ourselves as a media company. And I think one of the things that we've also done, certainly on the team side over the last several years, is looked at new opportunities on the front end. So, we were active in investments in esports very, very early. We've got some investment in Team Liquid. We were one of the founding, members of the NBA 2K League. We've created programming on the hockey side, to really bring those traditional sports and esports together, in a fast fashion. And, it's great when you have content and, the buildings that we, manage in this region, and we've got 5 of them, and our drawing interest really is probably Baltimore south to Richmond, but we do about 450 events a year, 4.5 million people through the turnstiles of these multiple venues. So I think it's really created a great platform. The other thing is it's great when you work for, someone that's entrepreneurial, and Ted really gives us, a great runway to try new things. And, the good thing is I think there's a lot of things that we've been fortunate on and have worked, and there's some things that haven't. And,
Sure.
the thing is, on those things that haven't worked out well, what have you learned from it? What can we do differently? And is there a future opportunity to do it in a different way? And those are the things I think we've learned, quite well from maybe some of the initiatives that haven't worked for us. But, at the core, I think Ted and his ownership group, there's 19 partners there, and they're all kind of a who's who of the greater Washington region. So, and a lot of them, have backgrounds in tech. So, trying new things very quickly is something that they're, very adept at. And I think it's a great resource that they provide us as some of the business operators in Monumental.
Yeah. And for my last question, kind of
Sure.
building off of that, I was intrigued by an interview I saw with Ted not too long ago. He was talking about blockchain technology, the impact of that, and with all of the conversation and activity happening around NFTs. He was mentioning the possibility of bundling an event ticket to a Wizards game, a Capitals game, whatever, with a collectible NFT. And he mentioned that there was a likelihood that many of the buyers would keep the token. They could be from other countries.
Sure.
They'd really be buying the token and then maybe reselling the ticket, or even just sitting on it. From a revenue standpoint, you could see lots of reasons to do that. Yeah. I'm wondering though, from the kind of the live event experience, does that kind of diminish the value of the ticket if it's bundled in there? And I realize this is all kind of speculation, and all of us are kind of thinking about all these different scenarios. But just wondering, maybe I'm overthinking that too. Maybe it's a little bit simpler. I'm making it out to be.
It's interesting. I think the live event experience is something that anytime that you can go to an event and see history in the making. I mean, I think we all look at and want to be at an event that maybe that Hall of Fame moment happened at that event. We could say that we were there. I mean, the NFT really gives us, kind of that lifetime collectible opportunity on it. So I see a lot of synergy with Ted's vision and what we want to build, and having those and, creating value, I think is important. I don't think one will cannibalize the other, based on it, and it's funny. I will say, the last full season that we had, and it was Rui Hachimura's year, the amount of Japanese tourists that we had coming to games in Washington, D.C. and Japanese Americans visiting, to have some type of collectible in the back end, I thought was tremendous. And I don't think one will cannibalize the other. I think they really coexist very, very well. And, having that treasured opportunity of remembrance in an NFT of a great event, maybe that you attended and everything from that standpoint, I think makes people feel, special. And I think it creates a great value opportunity for them. So, we're bullish on the NFT space. We launched our test opportunity several weeks back on the NFT front. We actually did it very uniquely in terms of, we really wanted to be a community opportunity. And we did it, with 2 local artists. And in the same week, we launched both our NBA and Wizards NFT plan along with our Capitals. And, it was a great opportunity and great, test experience for us. I think the leagues are looking at opportunities to expand this and extend it, for teams. And, for us, we think it's just a great business opportunity. But I think, blockchain is, something that, we are all 100% focused on. There's some amazing companies out there, in that space. And, for us, I think we always like to be, innovators and try new things. And, we've been very, very bullish. And I will say, Ted, in that process, had talked a long time ago, for us internally about Dapper Labs and what they were building out. And, he had, some participation in that and everything from that standpoint. So, we think it's going to be something that's here to stay. And, I think we're excited about seeing how things evolve. I mean, and I do think it's going to be something, that's going to be absolutely tremendous for not only our industry, but certainly many others.
It's an exciting time to be in our business. I keep saying that to a lot of my guests, but it's true. When you think about all of these possibilities, we're talking about NFTs or sports betting or international partnerships, all of the things that we've just covered here. It's again, it's why wouldn't anybody want to be a part of this and take the ride and see where it's going?
Well, and it's funny. What we tell everyone that at least comes in Monumental, when you come in, strap your seatbelt on, because we want to move fast and we want to try new things. And we want to, be best in class. And, I think all of my peers around the industry all, operate their businesses in that same mindset. And I think that's what's incredible about the sports and entertainment industry. And I think, coming out of the pandemic for all of us, we've all been so innovative really over the last 18 months, that I think some of the things that we've tried, are going to stay with us and continue to get better and adapt more, and to also have our core business back and the memories that we create for our fans, and, cherishing those moments, I think is an exciting time. So slap on the seatbelt, hopefully we're all on for a really good ride.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, Jim, I know you've got a lot going on, and I really, really appreciate you taking some time this morning to talk to me and to our audience. Really, really appreciate it. And hopefully we can connect again in the future.
Well, I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you. I think your podcast and the work that you do is absolutely tremendous. And, thanks for the opportunity to share a little bit about Monumental and what we're doing. And, certainly look forward to connecting again.
Absolutely. Thanks. And on behalf of everyone at Ticket Manager, thank all of you for watching and listening. And please join us again for the next episode in our All Access interview series.